Last one. Last offer, last SCP of today. We got Kinch the Knife Blade, which has been 107 SCPs ago when we last had them. Which 2852 was the cousin that shows up at either baptism, weddings, or funerals. And whenever he shows up, everybody does like some crazy ritual, which always leads to either domestic violence, suicide, sexual assault, a lot of bad stuff happening in the family. So that was the last one we had from Kinch the Knife Blade, but now we got what we did, what we were. Alright. Here we go. Object class Keda Potissimi. What the hell does Potissimi mean? What's that word, eh? What's that word? What does Potissimi mean? Yeah. Come on now. Tell me. I wanna learn. I need to know. Latin inflection of possibility. Strong as might is the most powerful chief principle. Oh. But here it doesn't have really. Infection of participants. This doesn't really help. Definition above, before all. Okay, so this means Keda. This is like the big boss. Big boss Keda, basically. SB2959 and all related documentation are to be kept at Delta 5 security clearance. No individual with Delta 5 security clearance is to engage in any contact with any individual who has been exposed to SB2959. Communication between individuals with Delta 5 security clearance and those exposed to SB2959 are to be facilitated by an AI. Oh my god, I cannot read anymore. Are to be facilitated by an AI Luca 7 designed to purge the communication of mimetic hazards while also retaining the general meaning of the message. Currently, all major sites are assumed to have been infected with SB2959 and house an instance of -A. Until eradication procedures for SB2959 can be designed and implemented, all individuals who hold Delta 5 security clearance are to be held in designated safe zones at least 100 kilometers from any Foundation outpost. Until SB2959 can be eradicated, there are no plans to stop the behavior of those affected despite deleterious effects. Those with Delta 5 security clearance are to focus on finding a way to eliminate SB2959. If SB2959 can be eradicated, all affected individuals will be given the choice to be amnesticized. Description: SB2959 is a designation given to a group of entities known to afflicted Foundation personnel as D-Class. Instances of the SB2959 appear as average human individuals of varying gender, race, age, and background. Biologically, SB2959 are identical to baseline humans, have standard deviations in their mental and physical states. SB2959 instances have varied personalities with no similarities besides a tendency to refer to Foundation personnel as Doc. Uniformly, SB2959 claim to have been inmates in various high security prisons, normally those slated for execution or political dissidents from various countries before being taken into Foundation custody. Currently, there is no theory as to how SB2959 produces its effect. SB2959 anomalous effect occurs when a Foundation employee in any capacity interacts with an SB2959 instance or an individual who has interacted with an SCP-2959 instance. Foundation employees who are infected with view SB2959 as human test subjects. Despite previous moral character or aversion toward violence, personnel infected by SB2959 engage in or otherwise support experiments utilizing the SB2959 instance and other SB objects. These experiments normally result in death or otherwise grievous harm being inflicted by the SB2959 instance. Most experiments offer little scientific merit and achieve no great understanding of the SCP object. I mean, this SCP is like criticizing the way Foundation's treating the D-class so much. Affected personnel's disinterest towards the lives and comfort of SB2959 instances grows over prolonged contact. SB2959 instances are used as test subject for 1 calendar month. Is it already 1 in the morning? Damn. Infected personnel ensure cooperation of the SB2959 instance to though promises of release at the end of the service. On the first of every month, the SB2959 instance will be terminated normally. This is achieved through a gas chamber attached to -A. Some atypical SB2959 terminations have been noted in various sites, such as ritualistic beheading, drowning, and flogging, with the necessary tools all provided by S-A. In all cases, terminated SB2959 instances are incinerated. As the SB2959 instances are incinerated, the new instances materialize fully clothed in orange jumpsuits and sleep within the dormitories of -A. So this is supposed to be like given a excuse of how the SB Foundation has like non-stop D classes, even though like eventually, you know, you would think like you would run out, because like there's only so many D classes you can send to the depth with the tests you do, and there's only so many like prisoners that like are willing to accept what you do, even if it's like, oh yeah, it's just a couple scientific experiments and you're free. Like some inmates probably would be like, nah, I'm good. I'll just stay here. As the SB2959 instances are incinerated, affected personnel do not respond to videos of these events or discrepancies involving SB2959. Those affected experience false memories of SB2959, not alarms. Those affected experience false memories of SB2959 instances being delivered to the site. -A is a wing or floor in certain cases entire buildings that serve as the D-class barracks. This must be all like things I think. Yeah, this is all the things that the D-class barracks are probably writing down, which we can read. -A is fully incorporates itself into Foundation sites when any involved personnel are infected by an SB2959 instance or an affected Foundation employee. The materialization of -A has been shown to occur instantaneously. -A hold all necessary equipment for care, eradication, and control of SB2959. All site personnel view -A as always having been a part of a building. Okay, let's read this real quick. This once was a D-class from Matlock, whose dick was too big for his son. So he rolled up his sheet, all nice and neat, and proceeded to play with his cock. Okay, I love you, Susan. I love you, Susan. I love you, Susan. I love you, Susan. Fuck the Foundation! Bunkhouse rules. 1. Don't hurt each other. 2. Don't steal from each other. 3. Have each other's backs. Dear Graham, you're a perfect cornflower in a rocky desert. Please be mine. Okay. Save skip list. SB832. SB1930. SB1187. Cool. SB2533. SB1379. SCP-1123. Not cool. Happy first second third birthday, Connor. To whom it may concern, please stop masturbating in this corner. My bunk is just over there. I'm tired of cleaning up your mess. Use the fucking bathroom like a civilized human being. A lot of like sexual stuff happening here. Price list: mixed fruit wine, 1 candy bar. I can't believe it's not brandy. 3 candy bars, 2 candy bars. Actual factual beer, 2 candy bars. Fox was here. Party tonight. 2nd, 4th, 16th, 9th, 5th, 16th, 21st, 7th, 16th, 12th, 8th, 16th. Free beer music. Don't forget me. D35725 raped one of our bunkmates. He is no longer one of us. Yeah, we better not. Kevin, you made this place bearable. I will miss you always, G. Like the autumn leaves, everyone must fall in time, but not all today. Graffiti written on the wall with the D-class barracks number 13, male, side 19, painted over in preparation for the new D-class intake, 10th of September 2016. Okay, now we read that. Now we can continue here. The material, so fully incorporates itself in the foundation side. We're involved in. I think I read this whole part already, right? 95% of SB2959 instances have been shown to be duplicates of individuals currently serving time in prison, normally for petty crimes. Details of the personal lives largely match those of the counterparts, with the noted exception of the reason for the imprisonment. The remaining 5% correspond to no known individuals living or dead. Then the May, as of the 2nd, 13th, 2011, site 19. The first site infected by SB2959 has instituted a punishment practice wherein personnel are demoted to D-class status and are terminated at the end of the month as per normal procedure. The reasons for this demotion include insubordination and misuse of foundation funds, but also chronic tardiness and failure to comply to a recently instituted dress code. You have dress codes at the foundation, really? Addendum B. As of the 9th, 18th to 16th, all other infected sites have instituted the practice of demoting employees to D-class status for various offenses. And here we have an interview -10. Acting through various shell corporations while impersonating the Department of Defense, interviews with SB2959 instances were made under Delta 5 secrecy. The individuals who conducted the interviews were not in Foundation employee and worked as interrogators on loan from the CIA. Interrogators were chosen based on extreme loyalty to the government of the United States and were informed that the interrogations were on human test subjects from a secret government project. Due to the unethical nature of the subjects, only 2 interrogators could be used. All civilians involved were amnesticized shortly after the interview concluded. All personnel infected by SB2959 who had knowledge of the Delta 5 acquisition of SB2959 instances were all amnesticized. Due to the need for secrecy, only 10 SB2959 instances were able to be interviewed. Of the 10, 9 corresponded to current living persons, as well as all information with exception to the event leading up to the reason for incarceration, remained identical to that of the counterpart currently serving in prison. The following is the interview with the remaining instance. In accordance with Delta 5 Protocol -10's answers have been filled through Luca 7. Why am I here, Doc? Does it mean I'm free to go? Afraid not, ma'am. I'm not actually a doctor. They told me your designation is D4596G12. For the record, could you please tell me your name? Selena, Doc. Selena Davis. You guys gonna start calling me that? Selena Davis, okay. I'm not one of those guys, ma'am. Here the interview just upwards. You don't need to call me doctor, call me Agent Jones. I don't understand. Who are you? Where are you from then? -10 noticeably begins to perspire. Ma'am, you don't need to know who I work for. You just need to answer my questions and we can get you right back. Back? You can't put me back, Doc. You can't. You just can't. You know what they do there? You know what they've done to me, Doc? I don't question my orders, and I'm not a doctor. I don't know where you were, and I don't know what they did. Now, can you tell me where you were born? You don't know? Oh, doctor. -10 speeches serves from this point forward. No. Can you please tell me where you were born? Hmm. Can you please tell me what you want? Nantucket. Nantucket. Dash 10 begins to sweat at an abnormal rate. What was the crime that originally sent you to prison? Oh, he's doing like a question, like all the backstory stuff to see how fleshed out it is. Crime? I don't question my orders, Doc. I don't know where they were, Doc. I don't know what they did, Doc. And Ashton appears to be extremely confused. The fluid later found to be cerebral spinal and amniotic drips from his nostrils, ears, and the corner of his mouth. Oh, it's like malfunctioning. What are you telling me, ma'am? What is... Ma'am, Doc, you don't need to know. You just need to answer with crime. You don't need to call your designation. Selena, where were you born when I'm not a doctor? Do you want to play nice? Or he's gonna play the lunatic? Oh, those guys could play nice. Okay, I don't question my lunatics. What they did, what they were, Doc. Dash 10 repeats the latter two phrases as it slumps into its chair and closes its eyes. The interview... Oh my god. The interviewer reaches out to Dash 10 and shakes its shoulder aggressively. The interviewer slaps Dash 10 across his face with full force. Dash 10 does not rouse but continues to repeat the phrase. The interviewer begins to speak. The recording device, I don't think I'm going to get anything out of this one with current allowable force. What they did? Wait, Doc? Dash 10 is repeating these phrases for several minutes and at a progressively lower volume before passing out into a coma. Yeah, this is... One's definitely asleep. We're done here, everyone. Well, a song to play, as you read about 2959. Now this song is a banger, and I think it's good that they added this part. It's about backstory, like you said. Yeah, I mean, but it looks like you can also feel like it looks like they're not perfect. They don't have like a. These D classes don't have a history. They just like pop into existence. So that's why he asked those questions like, hey, like, where were you born? Who was your family? What brought you into prison? Because like at the end, those D classes that get spawned by SCP-259 it just exists out of nowhere. Alright, let's keep on reading. Dash 10 profuse sweating led to extreme dehydration, which necessitated a saline solution full drip on the way to its first drop off point. Once the Foundation custody, Dash 10's coma broke and was able to coherently communicate with Foundation personnel. Dash 10 was given a thorough examination and no complications were found to account for the accumulation of amniotic and cerebrospinal fluids. Its apparent coma or unusual sweating. After a few hours in custody, the profuse sweating abated and it was transferred back to the custody of Site-213. Plans to locate and acquire further instances of SCP-2959 without counterparts are currently underway. And here's where we stand. Most of the O5s have been infected. They're being kept on, of course, but we're trying to steer them into the retirement as soon as possible. We only have a handful of personnel that we could save when we saw things were going to hell. But we have a recent researchers who were out sick and nations lucky enough to have been off the grid. It's only us now. It's a tall task, but we must end this plague. We have to bring it back to what it used to be. We were lucky enough to be spared, but we're cursed to see how far we've fallen. They become something horrid, and we need to save them. We don't know if SCP-2959 represents an attempt to change the focus of the Foundation, or if it's something using our resources for their own experiments, but why does it matter? But the why doesn't matter. I've seen men and women I love doing things that would have made them vomit. Even if those things aren't real people, the infected think they are. And they're getting crueler by the day. We cannot let it continue. We absolutely cannot let them degrade the Foundation any further. Remember that we were here to secure, to contain, and to protect. Not cause unnecessary pain in the name of science. They need to remember what we did. They need to remember that they, like all of us, were the light and darkness. 055. Okay. I would still think like some of the D classes might be Might be 2959 versions, but from the sounds of it, they not only do they copy B-classes looks, but then eventually also copy researchers and the O5s, which is a problem. You can have that. But hey, you know what's not a problem? The stream being over. We done it.